Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you guys are doing great. In my today's video, I'm going to discuss with you about a company called Aurum PropTech Limited. So we're going to discuss their recent Q1 FY27 result and see where they are heading, and talk about the new acquisition that they have done and why it is important and good for them, but at the same time why it could be a problem for them in the near future. So just please stay till the end of the video to know everything, right? So but before I get into that video, right, I just want to take just tell you in brief about what does Aurum PropTech does, right? So Aurum PropTech is a, I would say, even though it's in real estate, it's not like literal physical companies like builders or brokers, right? How to say, it's a technology platform where it integrates all the, how to say, the overall value chain in the real estate cycle. Because if you look at the screen, right, and if you look at these charts, they integrate with sellers, real estate developers, banks, renters, channel partners, and buyers, and everyone, right? Because normally, if you actually see, there might be certain platforms like, let's take housing.com or magic breaks. They are the ones, what do they do, right? They help you to just search for the property, just meet the buyer and seller, that's all, right? But over here, Aurum PropTech does that, but it goes more beyond that. It integrates everything, not just from buying and selling. It helps the real estate developers, the buyers who want to buy the property, the sellers who want to sell the property, the people who want to rent their property, and the brokers, who are looking to sell the properties and integrate banks and everything. It includes everything. And if you look at the next screen, right, so their business is divided into three parts. First is rental, where they have the student living, co-living, and family rentals. So over here, they have these places of their own where they give it uh, for students on renting, and places which is shared between multiple people. At the same time, family renting. So this is their main and the core business, where they get their, how to say, stable amount of revenue, which keeps the business up and running without any issues. And the second part is the distribution part, where it includes data analytics, marketing, sales, or automation, transaction management, right? So over here they have three parts. One is Aurum Analytics, then Sell, Do, and Prop Tiger. Over here, they do data analytics. They generate leads and sell it out in the market. They help the real estate developers take their projects and generate leads for them and tell them. And they have the CRM platform where Sell.do, where they manage the whole real estate CRM for the builders. So this is their main thing, and this is one of their main growing division, which is contributing majorly to their overall growth. And if you look at their new division which they started, which is Capital, which is related to REIT and digital lending platform, it has just recently started. So so it is not meaningfully contributed, but overall in the future, if it grows well, and it will start contributing in a much meaningful manner. If you look at their performance, right, so if you look at this screen, right, so if you look at their Q1 revenue, it grew by almost 57% from Q1 FY26 to Q1 FY27. Last year they did a revenue of around 77 crores. This year they did a revenue of around 121 crores. And if you look at the how the revenue was distributed, it was evenly distributed between rental and distribution, and others contributed to around 9 crores of the revenue. And the most important thing which we have to look at it, right, it's the EBITDA and the profit before tax margin. So I'll tell you why they have taken only profit before tax margin and not the PAT margin. I'll come into that later. So over here, if you see, last year they had a adjusted EBITDA of -3%. This year it is increased to almost 10%. That profit before tax margin of around -14%, but this year they have a positive of 2%. So this clearly shows that the business is going in the right direction. And the profit before tax that they have done is around close to around 2 crores, and overall profit that they have done for this quarter is around 45 crores. And the reason they have not mentioned is over here, and why they have considered profit before tax is, right, because in that 45 crore profit, a majority of the chunk is coming from the exceptional item, or other incomes, where the revenue has come from. So personally, let's not take that into consideration, because we want to see where the actual business is heading. If you look at the overall business, the growth is there, and the other important thing is that the margins are improving, not just the EBITDA margin, the profit before tax margin. Now let's see in the coming months or coming, quarters, how well they do. And obviously they have been into loss making, and they are into a turnaround phase, and we have to continue monitoring them, because at this point of time, if I leave the exceptional items and just take into consideration only the the business revenue part, at PBT they are at profit, but overall they are still at loss. And if you look at their three divisions, right, as I spoke about it, and it's there on the screen up, right? So rental contributed to 56 crores, distribution to 56, and their capital around 2 crores. And in terms of revenue, if we see, right, so rental contributed around 2 crore of the profit, and 8 crore was contributed from distribution. And the capital segment, which they've recently started, and they're investing in it, they had a overall loss of around 5 lakh rupees. And you can see over here, right, what do they offer, which I've already spoken about it. In the rental, they have this rental marketplace and management suite, co-living space for students and young professionals. And if you look at the distribution side, they have data analytics and lead generation platform, real estate sales CRM, and home buying advisory platform. So these are the main thing. And if you look at their main business update, right, and what is happening and how things are progressing, right? So we have this chart here from the investor presentation, and we'll go through the main important points, and I'll take you where the majority of the growth is coming from, right? So if you look at the first in the green color, right? So we have this rental marketplace and co-living spaces, right? Over here, if you look at the number of units, is actually decrease. So over here, the growth is not that much, but it is at least stable, because if you look at the overall occupancy, right, for the co-living space, it's at around 81%, which is actually quite good, which is contributing to the stable revenue. But if you look at the digital analytics and lead platform, that's where the and the changes are happening. Because if you look at the number of leads sold, right? So what are leads? They are nothing but the analytics teams work on it, and they find the data, and they give it to the the brokers or the real estate developers who and so that they can contact the right buyers in order to buy their property. So that has increased by almost 77%. And every lead that they sold, right, they get a commission at the back of it. And at the same time, if you look at the real estate CRM, right, so the number of active listings have increased. So that means more and more these brokers and real estate developers are coming on their platform and using their CRM platform. And at the same time, if you look at the number of projects on the data analytics and generation platform, it has also increased by almost 20%. So, and in the home buying advisory platform, the number of transactions have increased to close to 6,621 crores, and the value of overall homes sold was around 784 crores. And every home sold that which is generated through Aurum PropTech, they get a small commission at the back office. So this was the main business update. And if we look at the other thing, right, which is the most important thing which is happening, and what they have done is, right, they have done acquisition of a company called housing.com. I think if you guys like me would have searched for rental places out in the market, you would definitely gone through this platform called housing.com, right, which is a platform which helps people to look for rented places, or they want to buy the properties or not. So they have gone ahead and bought this company, and the way they have made the payment is not through paying any cash, but through giving them the equity shares from their own business. So over here, you might be thinking why they have taken this housing.com, right? So if you actually look at it, they already have certain part of it. So why they have acquired this, which is already a loss-making business currently? The main reason is like the data that they have, right? See, we need to understand the more, because over here, the data helps them to improve their overall analytics and target the right customers, bring the right sellers, and everything come together. So that is one of the main thing. And the other thing that they have done is, right, they have not done partial acquisition, they have done a complete 100% acquisition, and they want to integrate the housing .com platform in their overall how to say, in their overall platform. And the other important thing is that currently, if you look at the housing.com, they have obviously lead generation, and they have 1,700 plus active developers which are listed over there, more than 18,000, 1,500 active partners, and the customers who take their premium services where they make the payments, right, it's around 11,000 500 crores. And if you look at the other important thing, right, if you look at their monthly active users, right, they have close to around more than 12 million plus, right? So that means the amount of data or the information that they're getting, right, with the use of AI, how much more they can do. And through this, they can, even increase their overall revenue. And if you look at the listings that they've been, it's almost more than 1 million active listing. And overall monthly traffic, if you see, it's crazy. It's almost 58 million traffic. So that is one of the main reasons. And I personally feel that if they're able to integrate this business correctly in Aurum PropTech overall, how to say, overall structure, right? It could be a very good benefit for them. But for me, the only downside is, right, as I told you, housing.com was still a loss making business. And the management still said, right, that for them to make this housing.com profitable, it will take them another 4 to 6 quarters. That is close to more than one or one and a half year, right? And so that is actually okay. I can understand management is buying it and they want to, turn it profitable. Let's look how much losses they made last year, right? So they made a loss of almost close to they made a loss of close to almost 200 crores. And if you look at Aurum PropTech, right, last year they had a they were not profitable. They still had a small loss, and currently they are in this journey to become profitable. And now taking this housing.com from a future perspective looks at this point of time looks good, but at the same time they're taking this burden of losses, right? And if this losses continue, I it doesn't I mean it doesn't look like, and I can see that they can profitable in this year completely. Yeah, I know they have done a profit of around 45 crores for this quarter, but that is majority because of the exceptional item and not from the normal business. Are they going to do the same thing in the future? So for me, overall, if I see from the long play future perspective, acquiring housing.com is good if everything goes well. But from the short term perspective, I think it will stretch them a lot because they have to absorb these losses, and the journey for them to become profitable for the whole year, I think it might take a bit long term. And I think that is the only big challenge. But otherwise, if you look at the business perspective, I don't think there's any other business in India, or, which is like a full property technology platform, which connects the buyers, the sellers, the real estate developers, channel partners, and they take care of everything from rental to co-living spaces, from lead generation, real estate CRM, REITs, and working with the banks to provide the loans and everything. So I think that is the how to say that is a unique thing about them. But at this point of time, and for the next 1.5 years, I personally don't see them being profitable. They might prove me wrong if things changes, but we have to wait and see, the upcoming quarters, how things fit, especially how they are able to integrate housing.com, in their overall business, and how fast they are able to turn them profitable. Because till now it was not profitable. Last year they made a profit of 200 crores. So we have to wait and see. So overall, the results, I mean, in terms of results, I would say is still good and decent because they're heading in the right direction, because obviously the revenue is increasing and their overall margins are improving. But housing.com, how it will impact it in the coming months and quarters, we have to wait and see. And if you guys like this analysis, please do hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless.